Hello everyone, here I am again in Juan's garage working on the 1985 Corvette. What's wrong is this headlamp doesn't shut. It shuts, but it keeps grinding and rattling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do a quick video on how to replace the gears in the failed motor. What you want to do is you want to follow this line that's tucked under here. Okay, you're probably going to have to cut the tie wrap, and it also has a metal clip that clips right in here. Okay, so take this clip off and take this loose and unplug it from down here. It plugs in here, okay? So you have the green, white, and looks like, I don't know, maybe some other color. So unplug this and you're ready to go. Crank this manually underneath your motor actuator is a knob. You can crank this knob if you don't already know it. Crank it to about the 45-degree position. Then you can take this screw off, and there's a screw on the other side. We're going to take those off, and then we're going to take these off here, and we're going to pull the sub-assembly off, okay? Okay, so we got the cover off. Now, inside, way in the back here, you can see my finger pointing to it. That's a 13mm nut. You got to take that off. That's what anchors this cover to the actuator, okay? So, you get yourself a pretty lengthy socket set up. You take that off, okay? Then after that, we're gonna take these guys that hold the actuator on. And there's one here in the back that you wanna take off, okay? So just those, it's kind of common sense down here, on the other side, and here, okay? So I'm gonna do that next. Okay, now that you got all the bolts off and stuff that you need to take off, this thing will come out from the side, okay? And here is the side where it goes in, and it just comes right out. And you haven't had to take the lens off or the whole assembly out, okay? Okay, next you take all the screws out. Here, they're all on this side. Anyway, you take those out and maybe take note of what position this is in so that when you put it back together, you might want to put it in that same position. Okay, so once you take the screws off, you got to pry it apart. You know, it's not good to use metal on plastic, but I was very careful to just pry it with a chisel to get a blade in there. And then I used a plastic tool here to finish prying it off. But once you get it off, you want to take this side up when you pull it off, okay? Pull it off so that you don't spill the guts out of this thing. And take note of what is in here. There are a couple key components that you don't want to spill out. So just be very careful with it. This is the silicone that you probably want to clean off and then replace it when you seal it so it stays watertight and it doesn't get water in there and get ruined. But this is the big valve, or the big gear, I'm sorry, big gear, and I guess that's the smaller gear back here. And we're gonna have to get this pin out, and I'll let you know how I figured that out. But okay, so here goes. Time to replace the gears. Okay, so the problem was with my motor wouldn't stop turning after the lamp would close. So what you see here is the big gaps in the rubber spacers. I think they're worn and they're not stopping properly. Here's the new one. You see the smaller gap here. So I think that's one of the main problems, and the gear, and more likely, is probably stripped around these teeth somewhere. After I take it out, I'll clean it up. Check it out. Okay, so here's the final product. Lights flip up. Okay, and lights flip down. Nice.